We do not allow outside entities to dictate board actions. SAB decisions will be made based on facts, policies, and procedures, not individuals' opinions or requests. We strive to educate and encourage the community to follow proper protocols for voicing concerns. Policy KC, community engagement.
Thank you, Dr. Coleman. May I now have a motion to approve the agenda? I believe that was Miss, is that you, Miss Jackson? Yes, Miss Jackson made the motion to approve the agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
And second by Dr. Coleman. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That was a good party. All in favor. So the agenda has been approved. We will now move to Riverview Excellence.
All right, good evening, Special Administrative Board members, Dr. Patton, colleagues and community. For tonight, for Riverview Excellence, we're going to be honoring our support staff members of the year. And so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Tiffany Patton, our Professional Development Coordinator, to explain the process in the program, and then we'll have a brief video and come up to get our photo. So Dr. Patton.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, Dr. Patton, community, colleagues, and friends. It is with great excitement that we take this time to celebrate the inaugural winners. That means the first of the Support Staff of the Year Award for the Riverview Gardens School District. We have always known that we have superheroes in our buildings who enable teachers and leaders to successfully focus on teaching students every day because they take care of everything else. Imagine a school where no one is there to cover the class when a teacher needs to be absent or answer the phone when you call with the question. A school where no trash cans are empty and no one can help families gain access to much needed social services. It takes so much more than teaching to make a school a home away from home. And the RGSD Professional Development Committee is honored to have the chance to recognize and celebrate the unsung heroes in our buildings. We now present to you our building and district support staff winners for the 2023-2024 school year.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So can we give it up one more time for our support staff members of the year? So congratulations to all of you. We would like for everyone who's here to come up. We can get a picture with the school board. So if everybody wants to come up, if anybody wants to have brief words, because he said no. Support, I know you're here, support staff members. Come on up.
While they're coming, we would just like to say thank you so much to family and friends who have showed up. You guys have packed the boardroom out. And so that just speaks to how important they are to you as well as us. So thank you so much for coming tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm up confused already. I work for Moline Elementary, and I want to thank Miss Ep.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I want to thank Miss Amber White for knowing my strengths and my weaknesses and using all my strengths and maximizing it to do what I need to do and help those students in Moline.
Amen. Did any board members want to speak, want to have anything to say? Did you want to have something to say?
Congratulations on being awarded. Whatever you do, all kind of support is needed. We've always been taught as educators that you cannot do this alone. You need individuals to make sure that the lighting is good, the trash is clean, and the space is welcoming to children. And to have warm, welcoming faces is what you all have demonstrated in your efforts towards the kids. So thank you so much.
Anybody else?
I want to say thank you to all of you. There's a song that says, "We need you to survive." And I want you to know that Riverview Gardens, we need you to survive, and we appreciate all of your efforts. Thank you so much.
And I just wanted to commend you as a person that gives a lot of support on my job. I know how much you can be depended upon. And for you to do your job and to get this type of send out, that must mean that you all are some pretty stellar people. And so I'm just pleased and happy that you are a part of Riverview Gardens. And I hope that you will be a part of Riverview Gardens for many, many, many more years to come. So thank you all so much.
And I will say on behalf of Dr. Joyland, who is the superintendent of Riverview Gardens, I want all of the teachers and the principals for one moment to just close your eyes and imagine all of the support staff not being there. Just imagine it. I know teachers get the shine. I know principals get the shine. I know superintendents get the shine, but the true work is being done by all of the support staff who's making sure that we show up to buildings that are ready. Those babies walk into buildings that are clean and ready for them to learn. So I used to always tell my staff, this is what I told my staff. I am the least most important person in this building. Because if you all walked out of here, I couldn't cook, I couldn't teach, I couldn't do any of it, not by myself. So to the support staffs from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate you and we thank you. Thank you.
And it's been reported to me that no one submitted a document to speak during the public portion. Is that accurate, Ms. Fields? Thank you. So we will then move on to announcements. Board announcements. You had an announcement? Ms. Yes. Okay.
Today is a special day. Ms. Barbara Sharp is celebrating her birthday while she's in the board meeting. So happy birthday.
Now, Ms. Sharp, I hope you don't think that we weren't gonna sing happy birthday to you. You know, when you get another year older, it is a blessing. So if any of us that can carry a tune, with the exception of me, anybody that can carry a tune on 1, 2, 3, would you say, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shaw. Happy birthday to you. I know they're next, but and I believe Mr. Hartzell, you have some announcements?
Well, yes, thank you very much. Good evening and greetings to the Special Administrative Board, my colleagues, to Dr. Pruitt Adams, and to Dr. Patton and the administrative staff and the community and everyone. This board meeting tonight is my last serving as a member of the SAB. I am very, very grateful for the privilege of serving in this capacity for the last 2 years. It has just been a joy to me. I'm grateful to have been asked. I was drafted, but I'm glad I was drafted. And being a pastor and founder of a church in this community, I and my congregation, we've had a very long-standing commitment and concern for this district and all that are part of it, its well-being and its effectiveness. And I want to thank everybody that's connected with this district in whatever capacity for your service. Very instrumental tonight, seeing all the support staff being honored. I didn't know that was going to happen, but I just want to thank everyone for what you've done, big and small, for making the district better. I have been very impressed with the quest for excellence that I have seen exhibited in this organization and this district. I'm very optimistic about the turnaround efforts that has been initiated and are yet ongoing. The church me says, and in her absence, I really honor Dr. Pruitt Adams for her excellent leadership during her tenure. I think she was, if I go church again, she's been assigned for such a time as this. And so I'm very grateful for the excellent leadership that she has exhibited throughout my tenure here. And I have very great confidence that Dr. Patton will carry on forward and bring the district to its full destiny. And as I consider where the district is, my overriding concern is really for the recruitment and the retention of qualified, certified teachers. I think that, at least in my opinion, that this is the greatest and most crucial need for the district. All of us know this, that the great teachers make the difference, that they make the difference. And my encouragement to the board and the administration as you go forward, that in the midst of what is obviously a nationwide teacher shortage, that this need be kept paramount in our thinking and priorities, that creative solutions and the budgetary commitments that are necessary to bring in the people that are needed, that will be that will happen in an unwavering way. I think that the teacher shortage in any district is problematic, but for a district that is unaccredited, the teacher shortage is a crisis. And so I know that very diligent efforts are being made to correct that. And I believe and pray that that will continue to be the case. So as I leave my wife, I don't know if she's here tonight, but she's retiring after, there she is, after 35 years of teaching. We will still be connected to the district in whatever ways we possibly can as liaison, as community support, and early childhood reading and initiative. That is our heart and passion. I believe that early childhood reading and literacy is the key for academic success, and that is the long-term solution for the academic achievement of our children. Finally, I believe in the power of prayer, that I believe that there is a God and that he changes things when we ask him. Back in October, we gathered together for an on-site prayer, walking the grounds, and we're actually going to do that this coming Saturday again at 9 o'clock at the high school. So I extend an invitation for you, all of us, to get up out of our bed if we're able to, and to walk the grounds and pray, not just that for the cessation of violence, but that excellence will prevail, and that for the new leadership that is in place, and for all the things that are needed that we are aware of, that God will be our very present help. And so glad to have been part of it. And I believe the future is bright. So that's what I wanted to say. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Any other announcement? Well, I just wanted to extend a special thank you to those of you who supported me and voted for me to be now an elected official. I found myself reflecting on the years that I served as a special administrative board member from 2010 up until, I guess, the day of the election. And I'm just grateful, and I'm hopeful, and I'm thankful, and I'm reassured that if we work as a team and put the district ahead of anything that we feel about one another or what have you, that we will prevail. But I just wanted to thank you all for the opportunity of allowing me to serve as a special administrative board member for the amount of time that you allowed me to serve. And I just want to say, now that I'm an elected board member, I'm going to keep the same tenacity as to try to move our district forward in whatever role I can play in the district. And I just want to say thank you. Okay. So I believe that we will go to our RGSD student representatives report. Okay. Yes, after them or before? I can't hear you, Chef. Okay. Okay, thank you. We apologize for that.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt Adams, Dr. Patton, and community. As stated at the last meeting, we have changed the format of our SAB report. We will continue to split our report into 3 sections: student experience, student events, and students' expectations. First up, we have student experience. Recently, our cafeteria staff has been ordering after-school snack/meals for students pursuing extracurricular activities, from Uncrustables to muffins to mozzarella sticks with marinara sauce. Students have been really enjoying the opportunity to have a meal before heading home for the evening. Additionally, many of our students wanted to shout out their sports coaches for their supportive behavior. The close relationships they forged with students have been thoroughly encouraging and helpful, both pertaining to the sport and pertaining to the school. I'm sure we're all heard about the increase in student absences after coming back from quarantine. However, multiple students have reached out to me explaining that they enjoy having teachers who actually want to teach, excuse me, and that it encourages them to come to school. Supportive and engaging students can make all the difference in a student's future. Speaking of, our underclassmen generally appreciate the welcoming aura that teachers provide them and are enjoying the opportunity to explore classes outside of their main curriculum, such as Pro-Star cooking class and our engineering class. Talking with students about what they love about our school has made me even more proud to be around.
Alrighty, and now moving on to our student events. So recently, our track team, with the help of Coach Brandon Jackson, Senior Bradley Mackins, Coach Mack, and Coach Cashap, won multiple awards at their latest 2 track meets. And I'd like to take a moment to just celebrate the following students. On April 6th at Northwestern Springs, Pamela McFarland, Jalea Lewis, Karma Robinson, Chase Porter Reynolds, Tamia Davis, all won at least first, second, or third place within their competitive event, and their girls JV team won their 4x2 relay race. And on March 23rd, which was a few weeks ago at the Hazelwood meet, Lorenzo Leonard, Dennis Abel, Darian McLean, and Ariane Stamps all won second or third place in their competitive events as well. And additionally, the senior lock-in took place at Edison's on March 21st, and our senior class had so much fun playing arcade games with friends, eating snacks, and staying up way past our bedtimes. And during the event, multiple items were won through raffle tickets, including a TV, mini refrigerators, a bed desk, and multiple comfortable pieces of clothing, all of which would be very useful as we transition from high school to college life. And that will conclude the events. As for our expectations and our concerns, we currently don't have anything to report. However, we are in the process of implementing a report alongside Mrs. Nave. So this concludes the report for today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Oh, Dr. Yvonne Elliott wanted to ask you a question.
When is your decision day for us to give you some gifts for the students?
May 1st, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. And I believe that you said Dr. Pruitt-Adams wanted to make a comment, Shay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I just wanted to, I'm sorry for not being there in person, but I just wanted to take a moment and thank Reverend Horsley and Ms. Maura Rhea. It takes a lot to give unselfishly of your time. You don't get paid for it. You sign on for things you have no clue that are going to take place. And yet your commitment to the scholars in the Riverview Garden School District and the staff does not go unnoticed. I know Ms. Maura Rhea, you've been on the board since I think the district lost its accreditation and then regained provisional accreditation. That's a testament to your commitment to this district. Reverend Horsley, you were plucked and you had and asked to, here, take this, and you took it without question. And so I just wanted to say to the both of you, thank you on behalf of our scholars in the Riverview Garden School District, our parents, our community, and our staff. Thank you so much for your service, and know that you will be missed. Reverend Horsley, Miss Maria, you're gonna still be with us. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
All right, so we will now turn our meeting over for the superintendent's report to Dr. Tanya Patton.
Thank you, Ms. Morreale. I do want to, Dr. Jolin just spoke, but I do want to say to Reverend Horsley, thank you. You have been a very calming force, a very quiet leader. When you called because you were walking around the campus and you sent out a message, we showed up, and you walked through just praying, and you had your many members of your congregation there. And we appreciate that. You putting that spirit on our school, I think, helped to support our school and the leaders to turn that building around. And so we appreciate that. Ms. Morreale, you've been here since I've been here, and you were a welcoming force to me when I came. So I do want to say thank you as well, and welcome back. Thank you. The other announcements that I have are Prop S. I want to thank our Riverview Gardens community. Let's give it up. Let's give it a loud round of applause. They came out in strong support of Prop S. It passed with a 72.6% of the vote. And that is awesome. So we thank you. We promise we will use these funds for upgrades to safety and security, as well as structural upgrades to our district. And we thank our community many times over. In the 4 years I've been here, we've come to you twice, and you've showed up and showed out every single time. So we thank the Riverview Gardens community. Thank you. On Friday, April the 19th, we will have a wellness day. That means no school. Everybody gets to go do yoga, go walk quietly, maybe around the high school campus, and just be well. And then the following Monday, April the 22nd, it's a district professional day. So that will be a day of no student attendance. I do want to invite and remind everybody that on April the 23rd, the DESE hearing will be held at Gibson Elementary School. The board meeting that day will start at 6 p.m. and the DESE meeting will start at 7 p.m. We will give updates on the CSIP plan and everything we are doing to pull the school district to full accreditation. Again, that will be April the 23rd at Gibson Elementary School. Board meeting will start at 6 p.m. DESE meeting will start at 7 p.m. And we invite our community. We'd like you to show up just like you did for Prop S. Show up and show out and come and have your voices heard and listen to what's going on throughout our school district. That is all of the announcements.
Before we move on to the items for information, if anyone would like to leave, this would be a good time unless you just want to stay and enjoy the rest of the meeting. But if you would like to leave, you can do so now.
Go ahead. Dr. Singleton, you stay seated. Mhm. Dr. Singleton, Dr. Singleton. Okay, moving on. Moving on to items for information. The first item is the summer school program evaluation. This is in reference to policy IGAB, instructional interventions, and making this presentation is Dr. Stacy Nichols, Assistant Superintendent of CNI.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Patton, and school community. This evening, the team will present the Summer School Spring Forward Program Evaluation Report. The summer school program provided an opportunity for students to improve their foundational skills in the areas of reading, math, and science. At this time, the school facilitators that work the summer school program and the instructional coach, Ms. Nash, Ms. Robinson, and Ms. Thomas will come forward to provide you with an update regarding the implementation of the Summer School 2023 program.
Good evening, members of the board, district administration,
Can you
staff.
pull the mic up just a little bit so we can hear?
Can you hear me better? Good evening, esteemed members of the board, district administration, staff, other stakeholders and friends. This evening, we'd like to talk to you about the summer school program evaluation for the 2023 summer school year. Several changes were made to the summer school program last year that included an increased pay rate to recruit staff. 2 additional days were added to the summer school schedule for preparation and professional development. And also the summer program was funded by ESSER funds as opposed to the general operating budget. Last but not least, assessment for math and reading was monitored via the Renaissance Star 360 online assessment program. There were a total of 371 students participating in the summer school /launch program. And the highest number of students to attend was 86.71% on June 15th. And our lowest attendance numbers were on June 30th at 56.22%.
Good afternoon, Special Administrative Board. I wanted to present the data for ELA and math during the summer school program. For ELA, 6 out of our 9 grade levels show increase in their scores, and that was 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. And for math, we had 5 out of the 8 grade levels tested to show growth, which were second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. In kindergarten, we do not test them through the Renaissance, but they were monitored through their teachers. And so a pre-test was administered to each scholar on their first day of attendance in the summer school program using the Renaissance Star 360 online assessment, and again during the last week of the summer school program. Also, instruction was facilitated through the use of Scholastic's reading and math curriculum and resources. Teachers used small group instruction and center activities to meet the needs of the students and to move them forward in their skill set. And I think that is all I have.
Good evening. As she said, based on the data and analysis, it was pretty effective for our kids. Our 8th grade didn't do well, but most of the kids' scores went up. The student data reports were from the Renaissance, the STAR Math and Reading Assessment. The staff and students gave feedback, and we had weekly progress monitoring reports for students, class activities, and classwork. So the pay rate was increased to $50 per hour for staff. Preparing times were increased 2 days for teachers. Funding for, like we said, funding for the summer school program was provided via ESSER Summer School Grant. And we did, like you said, we used Renaissance Star to assess our students.
Bring your mic up a little bit, please. Thank you. So they can hear you on the.
Yeah, we use Renaissance Star to assess our students. So the overall goals and objectives of the 2023 summer program was to increase the academic performance of students with a focus on reading and math. We also used science to do that, providing educational experiences via the implementation of STEM instruction. And then like we said, we monitored the growth of the students via the Renaissance Star pre and post test. So opportunities for next steps. We'd like to extend the length of summer school to a month and create positions for support staff and an instructional coach. We'd like to increase the time allotted for preparation, and we'd like to permanently increase the pay rate to strengthen the applicant pool because it's very competitive out there. All students must successfully complete a comprehensive portfolio aligned to the standards. Are there any questions?
What is the current length of prep time before you all start summer school?
I think we just prepped like 2 days. Yeah, it was 2 days.
And how long did you want to stretch that to? You said 2 days, how long? 2 days, okay, you want to keep it at the 2 days? Okay. Thank you, okay. Bingo, okay, I got you. Any additional questions?
Thank you very much.
Our next item up under items for information is request for proposal demographic services. This is in reference to policy DJF, and bringing this item forward is Carl Scheid, Executive Director of Facilities and Food Service.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Patton, colleagues, and community. Tonight, I come before you to bring an information item, which is a request for proposal for demographic services. As stated in the background of this item, the school district has experienced some shifts in our student population that has ultimately impacted our student populations at schools, making some with lower populations, some with higher populations. The intent is to issue an RFP for demographic services, to have somebody, a qualified firm, come in to study our current enrollment, our future enrollment, birth rates, and other factors that will impact our enrollment for the long term. So our intent is to then bring those findings back to the board with recommendations of what actions need to be taken, whether it's adjusting boundaries, whether it's consolidation of schools, whatever the outcomes may be based on data. Last time we had a demographic survey performed here was in 2009, so it's been 15 years ago. As we know, there's been a lot of change in our community, and there still will be change in our community to come. So in order for the district to make informed decision about what our needs are, and that's our needs for staffing, our needs for our facilities, needs to support our students. That's why this information is so valuable, so we can plan adequately for the future and make sure we allocate our resources appropriately. So once we go through this selection process, obviously the firm that would be recommended will come to the board for approval in an upcoming meeting. Be happy to take any questions you may have.
I know some superintendent, some superintendent programs actually have that as a requirement of the superintendent. Do we have any staff that could lead any internal project around that process that you're aware of? Or can it be explored to see? I was just curious.
I'm not aware, but we can definitely look into it. Yes.
Any additional questions?
Is there any cost to this request for proposal?
Yes, now the cost is just to publish it. Ultimately, selecting a firm will then obviously have some costs associated with it, since they're going to do studies, and then depending on what the recommendations are, and we would obviously need to engage our community as to what those recommendations may be and how they may impact the community. So depending on what those recommendations are, that could impact the cost. So we've placed a budget in the upcoming proposed budget to accommodate this request. Obviously, once we look at the firms and find out what level of services they're going to offer, then that would give us a better understanding of exact costs.
So do you have an idea of what it would cost you to publish this information? That's, I think, what we were looking for on here.
Really, just we have to just advertise it, and then it's sent out, and we'll have a defined period of time in which firms will need to respond, and then we would then follow that up with a review of the proposals, form a committee to review and interview those firms before we would bring something back to the board.
So you will let us know what the actual cost for advertising for this will be?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Do you have the amount that it cost 15 years ago? Is there any data on that, the cost then?
Yes, it was, I think it was approximately around 30,000 at that time.
No additional questions? Okay.
Thank you, Carl.
All right, thank you very much.
Our next item up for information is site-based data presentations for Glasgow, Koch, and Moline. Bringing this item forward is Ms. Barbara Sharp, Executive Director of Continuous Improvement and Title IX, as well as Cassie Alanda, Keisha Fife, and Amber White, principals of those buildings. Ms. Sharp?
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, colleagues, and community. To Dr. Pruitt-Adams in her absence, and certainly to Dr. Patton. In conjunction with the Riverview Garden School District Turnaround School Initiative, school leaders are engaged in a series of professional learning experiences. All of these experiences are designed to strengthen student performance in their respective buildings. Tonight, our esteemed leaders will come from Glasgow, Koch, and Moline. They will present their school-based data. Part of their presentations will include their 30, 60, 90-day plans, celebrations centered around their data, next steps, and evidence of teaching and learning in mathematics. We will entertain any questions that you have at the conclusion of the presentation. Ladies.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Patton, colleagues, and community members. My name is Cassie Alanda, and I am the principal at Glasgow Elementary. So tonight, I'm going to present to you the status of what we've been doing this school year. So we started the year with a lot of work. Every school has a 30, 60, 90-day plan. And we began the year with collaboration being our main focus, a focus on PLCs in the buildings. We planned out 6 weeks of instruction, and we've kept up that process quarterly to help support teachers with being on the same page and make sure we were making our gains towards meeting our SMART goals. We've also focused on identifying what we call non-negotiables instructional types and high-yield instructional strategies to implement school-wide. We focused on creating a progress monitoring system within our school for our guiding coalition to look at our SMART goals that we created and the data and make sure that we were staying on target to meeting those goals. Right now, the only goal that we have not accomplished is we are restructuring our mission and vision for the school year, which has been a process. We're trying to make sure that it's something that we can own, something that we can say. So the Guiding Coalition has been working on that for about 3 to 4 months, but we do plan on having that completed by the end of May. We have a lot to celebrate, and one of my big missions as a school principal is to find ways to have or to build intrinsic motivation within students. So we begin the year, and I'm very much so, I love literacy. I feel like literacy is the foundation for everything with our students. So we have very big ELA and reading goals for our scholars. So we began the year with our STAR test with 14%, so 32 out of our 223 students reading proficient or advanced. Our mid-year assessment showed that we increased that to 33%, so 74 students out of our 224 students with proficient, and we plan to end the year at over 42 to 50%, and we are on target to meet that goal. I don't want to say thank you to myself. I want to thank my team because my teachers are amazing, my support staff is amazing, and they work very hard. So we celebrate our students with academic assemblies throughout the year to celebrate the growth and the gains that they're making. And then I challenge them at every academic assembly with incentives. So we just had 96 scholars from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year. I challenged them to grow at least 50 what we call student growth percentile points on their STAR math, because math is a challenge for us, or to grow at least half a year or make the proficient or advanced. If you look at that last picture, right when we came back from spring break on that Tuesday, we had 96 scholars qualify to go to Altitude Trampoline Park in Glen Carbon. They made that goal and those gains. We are still working to celebrate them at the end of the year. Some of the things we've done are glow parties and other incentives just to push our scholars a little bit further. We are happy to look at our attendance. We ended with, actually, that's on the next slide. Let me slow down a little bit. We also are really happy to look at our discipline. We've maintained very low discipline. Thus far, year to date, we've only had 15 suspensions with all of our scholars. So we're averaging no more than 2 to 3 per month. And once again, like I said, I want to thank my team because we do a lot of preventative strategies. So right now, our goals that we are working on are to increase our attendance to 72%. I think right now I looked at it, I think it's 69.80%. So if we have 2 really good months, we should meet that goal by the end of the year. We're looking to increase our proficiency scores in ELA and math. And we are also looking at increasing our reading scores to proficiency. Like I said, at least 42% of our students reading on grade level by the end of the year. Oops. Okay. So with attendance this year, we've done really well. Probably the only pattern that I saw was in Q2. Our students really building wide. We had a really bad flu bug that hit us in December. So outside of Q2, every quarter thus far, we've made gains this year with attendance, minus our kindergarten and I believe our 2nd grade. We've identified those scholars though, and we do have monthly incentives in place. Right now, they're working towards something at May. We do something to celebrate them at the beginning of every May. We do a pizza party for the class that has the highest attendance, and we recognize them with monthly awards every month. Some of the things that really worked really well with us for attendance is those daily phone calls from our attendance secretaries, along with the teachers, having those monthly incentives and those awards. We even spent in the first quarter, we gave out cookies to our parents, thanking them for bringing students to school on time. So we're just working really hard to try to get kids to school every single day. So our math goal right now is to increase from the 18 out of 186 students, and that number is lower if you can recognize that because our kindergarten students don't take the STAR math assessment, to at least 40%. Oh, that's my time, I'm sorry. By the end of the year, we're working on a lot of strategies to get that done. So this is our math data from where we had mid-year, and with the team and the Guiding Coalition, I definitely feel like we're gonna reach these goals by the end of the year. And I'm going to pass this on to Keisha Fife at Coke.
Hello. I promise I'll be real fast. I don't want the tap, okay? All right. Oh, too fast, my bad. Okay, so this is our 30, 60, 90. This is my first year at Coke. I came from Lewis and Clark. And so what we've done at Coke is we've really emphasized working on our PLC strategies and data teams. That was something that we really need to focus on. Implementing the PLC strategies and utilizing our data during data talks, during our data team meetings was a big focus for us this year at Coke. And as you see on our 30, 60, 90, that PLC strategy is in every one of them because that was something that was significant deficient there. And we've completed those goals. As Glasgow, we also had collaborative data strategy goals that we have met, but all of those things are ongoing. You never, you never meet them and can stop. So we're constantly reviewing, re-editing our SMART goals and continuing to build. Right. Oh, that shouldn't be that. There we go. So our school, one of our school-wide celebrations, I'm very excited. The first grade, when we did the beginning of the year, the BOY, beginning of the year, we only had 15.15% of the scholars who were proficient in the early literacy test. So they couldn't read to even get into the STAR exam. And so happy to say by the middle of the year, and we're in the process of STAR testing now, that this data should increase even more. We are at 14.29% of them reading in the STAR test. So they are out of early literacy and testing into the STAR. So that reading has improved. Another significant celebration for us is Coke has started their PTO. And so our very first PTO meeting, we had 35 parents. And as you know, we cannot do anything without those parents. And so I shout out to our PTO president, Ms. Pash. She's phenomenal. Now, our attendance data, oh, it keeps skipping. Okay. Let me just do it like it is up here. Now look at this. I know. It's jumping. Okay, I know I want to tap. I know, okay. Okay, so let me hit these goals. So these are our status goals. If I can get to my, all right. So with our goals, as I stated before, we focused on PLC. My goal as the building leader was to reduce our below basic scholars 20%. We're in the middle of testing, and so I do not know if we've achieved that yet. We are on the track of achieving it. I have 338 scholars, and middle of the year, we tested and we had 7% decrease. So hopefully when we let's see, get to the next one. When we created our, this just doesn't like me. When we created our WIN program, oh, forget it. When we created our WIN program to address our math issues, WIN is what I need. And so we utilized our STAR data, created an assessment on Freckle that was stair-stepped according to the grade level. So basically 5 kindergarten, 5 first, 5 second. So depending on what grade you were in is where the number of questions that you had. So if you were in 3rd grade, you had kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 3rd grade questions. We formalized this assessment in this manner to find specifically the deficiencies that our scholars lack in math. And what we determined was they are extremely low in basic addition and subtraction. They did not understand the concept. So with our WIN program, which is our building-wide intervention, what we did was strictly work with concrete. You know, the district adopted CRA, so we strictly worked with concrete. So we would present, and it was ability grouped by grade level. So the kids transferred classes to their WIN teacher. And so we created a phrase every morning, "Are we winning today?" And so the phrase was always, "Yes, Ms. Fife, we're winning today." They loved it. And so we're going to build on that next school year. Okay. Attendance, sorry, attendance is, the winter time kills us with attendance. Parents do not want to send their babies to school when it's raining and when it's cold. And so we also have done interventions for attendance. And we basically, overall, our attendance is at 56% overall for the year.
She's coming.
I won't be tapped. Let me just tell you that. All right, so major goal of our school this year was to create a functioning guiding coalition, a group of leaders within the building that can carry the work forward so it becomes sustainable. So that has been the real focus of our building all year, developing a leadership team of teachers. I'm a visual person, so this is 3 years worth of math data for our school. These are students who are proficient. The green arrow in the middle designates when we began our work with Solution Tree. So you can see that there are, from that arrow, you go to the right, those 3 dots are about the same place. We didn't make a lot of growth last year. This year, from the beginning of the year, we basically grew 50%, from 16% of our students proficient in math to 24% of our students proficient in math. And what's not reflected here, I think these guys will feel my pain. We took the MAP test about 3 years ago, right? Everybody stayed at home for COVID. And between 90 and 100% of our students were below basic in math. We had very few, I believe our scores were so low, we didn't register on proficiency. This year, we started the year with only 59% of students below basic in our building, and we are now down to 47%. Which is a significant decrease from somewhere in the 90s to 40-something. So that's a school-wide celebration. That's been one of our major areas of focus this year in our building has been math. So we're going to continue to work with our content coach, supporting math instruction in our building. We attended an RTI at Work conference in Minnesota over spring break in a snowstorm. It's not what people usually do on spring break, but that's what we did. And that is really helping our tiered intervention system. So how we're providing basic grade level instruction, how we're supporting kids when they don't get that instruction, and how we're supporting kids when they are missing so many skills that they are multiple years behind. No, that was 2. Don't. I got the timer happening. She did that on purpose. I'll handle her later. And at the end of this week, Moline Elementary will be submitting our application for what's called Promising Practices designation through Solution Tree to recognize the work that our staff's doing. I am going to say what she said to all the attendance stuff. We struggle in the winter, we struggle when they're sick, and we struggle with our lower grades. Kindergarten and first grade are our most struggling grades for attendance. All the things she said they do, we trying that stuff too. And we're still struggling with kindergarten and first grade, so we're going to keep working on that. I talked to you already about our math goals. Our goal as a building was from 12% to 29 by the end of the year, and we're at 24 now, so we're on our way. I want to specifically highlight my first grade team who has moved kids from 27% to 50% proficiency, and my second grade team who has decreased below basic students from 71 to 44%, because if we start when they're little, we are making the biggest gains. Hopefully it will follow them up. So do I get to say, would you like to ask any questions, or do you want to come up here and tap me?
Well, you already said it.
What questions can these ladies answer for you?
I just want to congratulate you on your improvement and increase. And I was just curious of how you all kind of work together across schools to kind of collect on the strategies that each school uses to adopt it into your program. I'm just wondering.
So I will just speak for me at Coke. if I have any issues or questions, I have my reliable colleagues. I'm quick to call Glasgow. Ms. Landa, what did you do about so and so and so? Do you have a suggestion with such and such and such? How does this work? So that's one way that we cooperate or collaboratively work together. And we do a lot of the work with Solution Tree. And so that's where we really hash out techniques and strategies that we can take back to the building and utilize. It kind of keeps us on one accord.
Any additional questions?
Ladies, great job. Great job. Our next item up for information, and hopefully nobody else will be tapped. Oh, wait a minute, it's Dr. Singleton. He will be tapped. Our annual review of the fixed price food service manager contract with SFE. Bringing this forth is Dr. CFO Levon Singleton. And this is in conjunction with policy EF food service management. Dr. Singleton?
All right, thank you. Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams in her absence, Dr. Patton, colleagues, and community. Tonight, I'm going to bring as an informational item the annual renewal for our fixed price food service management contract. The attachment also presented in your board item shows the prices, the price increase for this year versus last year. If you all recall, last year we did an RFP and we vetted out several vendors. Ultimately, we chose SFE, who is our current food service provider, to resume operations for our food service program. I think we've gotten extremely positive feedback over this current year. We're looking forward to renewing with SFE for next year as well. And so that is the proposal, or that's the informational item, is to share with the SAB the prices for next year, which is in accordance with that 5-year proposal that were submitted. So these rates are in alignment with what was submitted during the initial RFP process. Are there any questions I can answer at this time?
So I wanted to ask a question, and it's, all week long on the news, they've been talking about, a program to help school districts with, I guess the cost of food items. Did Riverview Gardens send anybody to that event, or was it just for a specific area? Oh, you can't, I'm sorry.
Oh, they couldn't hear you. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. What I was saying is all week long, I've been seeing on the news this program where there is financial allocations that are being allotted to schools for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I think that they had sent an invitation to several school districts, and I didn't know if Riverview Gardens had attended that or knew of that.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar. Carl, did you don't, okay. Let me check with our food service department on tomorrow to just be sure. If there's any local training that's going on, we always try to take advantage of that. But I'm not sure if we got an invitation or even attended that program.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. CFO. Moving into items for discussion. Our first item up for discussion is the Board of Education meeting schedule. Bringing this item forth is our Coordinator of Board Governance, Shay Fields, and this is in reference to policy BDA, board meetings.
Thank you, Dr. Patton. Good evening, everyone. This item is being brought forward for discussion and action, as Dr. Patton stated, in accordance with policy BDA. And that is that the board would meet at least twice a month on the second and fourth Tuesday. And as you all have received since we started the meeting, is the proposed schedule for the next school year. And I want to thank all of the building principals for signing up to host the fourth meeting of every Tuesday. Are there any questions about the calendar or any dates that need to be revised? Okay, that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Shay. Our next item up for discussion is policy recommendations. Bringing this policy forward is Travis Ford, Senior Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, and this is in conjunction with policy CH, policy implementation and dissemination.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt Adams, Dr. Patton, colleagues, community. Today I have before you two policy recommendations. The first policy recommendation is policy IGC. This policy is about extended instructional programs. The revision has been recommended by MSBA to revise this policy to be in alignment with the law. Senate Bill 168, which has significantly revised a portion of it. The portion that it has revised is stating that the law originally said it was mandated for summer school for anyone who was on those reading success plans. They have rescinded that. And now the recommendation is that you have an option. The district will have an option for who does summer school. It's not mandated. The second policy is policy KK. This policy, MSBA has modified this policy to make it clear that all visitors on district property or at district activities cannot possess, use, distribute, or be under the influence of marijuana, even though Missouri law allows adults to possess and use marijuana. Marijuana is still a controlled substance and under federal law is prohibited on school grounds. So this is to make sure that our policy is in alignment with the federal regulations. It is recommended that the Special Administrative Board approve these policies as presented. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Our next item up for discussion is parents as teachers. Bringing this forward is Dr. Emita Williams, Director of the Michelle Obama Early Childhood Center. And there is no policy attached. Dr. Williams.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt Adams, Dr. Patton, community colleagues, and scholars. You said it's not a.
Yeah, they're
I
probably,
attached it.
it's all good.
Okay,
It's all good.
it's for workforce and staffing and workforce.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. This is for the PAT stipend. I just wanted to give some information and also ask for a action tonight. DESE has allocated funds to be paid directly to the parent educators and supervisors for professional development as a way to recruit and retain them. So all of the parent educators have completed their professional development for this, and they will be allotted this stipend. As you can see, there is a budget amount there. It has been budgeted. It has been received in the finance office. And my recommendation is that it is approved tonight. Do you have any questions?
President,
Yes.
at some point, will we get to hear from the actual parents as teachers who are actually participating in the program as to what they really do? Because I just don't think that everybody's aware
Mhm.
of how valuable that program is.
Well, that could be, that can be completed, yes. Would you like to, I mean, I know we do our evaluation in the fall, but would you like for us to come at another time to present just information about the program?
How else would, well,
Mhm.
I guess the follow-up question is
Mhm.
then, how does our community know about this program and what's offered? Is it on our website? Or-
Yes, we have a website. We've updated that this year with several links. Ishmael has helped us with that. We have several QR codes that they can use to enroll for the program. Also, they go out to the community to various daycares, churches and things like that, doing screenings to the scholars that are in the community that do not attend Michelle Obama Early Childhood. So they have several ways that they are out there. We did do a podcast. And so we're on episode 21 as well, and that is uploaded on the website. Facebook, we have a Facebook page. Michelle Obama Facebook page, you all can like and share on there. Send us some photos. You want us to add some photos on there? We're also on Twitter.
Okay, well, appreciate all of that.
Uh-huh.
It would still be, I think, would be beneficial for
Okay,
it to be presented to the board.
so having the parent educators come and our lovely director of
Ms. Sonia, to come and just discuss what they do in the community. Okay, great. We will look forward to that in the future.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. And let me say this, Dr. Williams, that wasn't an indication that you didn't attach the policy. Some things don't have a policy for them.
Okay.
So don't worry about it.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Our next item up for discussion is Renaissance Star 360 and the Freckle Renewal. Bringing this forward is Dr. Phil Kennedy, Executive Director of Assessments. And this is in line with policy IL assessment programs. Dr. Phil?
Good evening, SAB, Dr. JPA, hope you're feeling better, and Dr. Patton, colleagues and community. So you've already heard a lot about Renaissance Star 360 with some of the building presentations. Really what is happening now is it's time for the annual renewal. This will be the fifth year that the district has used this assessment platform. This assessment platform is one of 5 that is approved by DESE for meeting the dyslexia requirements. And we utilize that. The students take the assessment 3 times a year at the beginning, in the middle, and the end. So as you heard, I believe it was Ms. Fife said that we're in that window right now. In the board docs, I have attached the data that is from the beginning of the year and the middle of the year, and I've highlighted the areas in which you can see that we saw some improvement. And I think that you heard the principal speak about some of the improvements that they're seeing in their buildings as well. So that is attached. And again, the final benchmark assessment is being administered now in conjunction with our map. That it's a large 2-month window that will close on the 24th of May. So it is recommended that the SAB renew Renaissance Star 360 and Freckle for the next school year, 24-25, not to exceed in the amount of $24,412.95. Is there any questions I can answer for you?
Any questions?
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. You're the next one up?
Yep.
Okay. Dr. Phil's going to remain in place. He's going to talk about formative solutions renewal, and that's in line with the same policy, IL assessment programs. Dr. Phil?
Thank you. So Formative Solution is another assessment platform the district uses. 3 years ago, we began work on our own common formative assessments that will help our scholars prepare for the MAP test. And those are used in there. The teachers also have the ability to upload their own assessments, which is done quite frequently. And it's a pretty amazing program. I wish I had it back when I was in the classroom, because I wouldn't have to grade any papers. All I would have to do is analyze the data. But this is in line with our Missouri Learning Standards, where we can align the assessment questions with the standards. So it will inform us on whether or not the students are in fact achieving the level of success on the particular Missouri Learning Standard as well. So again, there are some benefits to MAP preparation inside of that, but it also, particularly at the high school, we have a lot of teachers who are creating their own common formative assessments and using those. We also have several at the middle or the elementary. So when the Solution Tree folks come in and they help them develop some of their own common assessments, then they can upload them in there for ease. And it's a system to where if you're my class and I'm administering a CFA, I can watch what you're doing from my computer, and I can type message you and say, hey, you might want to go back and look at question number 2 because I think you skipped a step. So it's very interactive. And again, I'm just making the recommendation again that we approve it for the new school year, 24-25, not to exceed the amount of $29,581.50. Is there any questions I could answer, please?
I have a question, not about that one.
Okay.
But I believe you presented, when I first started, paper.
Yes, so I'm working in conjunction with the representative right now. They are giving different pricing options, and I will have that information for you hopefully at the May board meeting, because I'm still working with the representative. We meet once a month, and again, I will also provide the usage data for you on that as well, as I know that's what you asked for. And I would be honest with you, it's not to the level that I would like to see it, nor with the paper rep. But again, it's benefiting a large percentage of our students. I think more could benefit from it, but I'll give you the paper spiel whenever I get up in May.
Thank
All right, you're welcome.
Any additional questions? Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Phil. Our next item up for discussion is summer school program summer enrichment. Bringing this forward is Dr. Stacy Nichols, and this is in line with policy IGAB, instructional interventions. Dr. Nichols?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Patton, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, and school community. This evening, I will present the summer school program for discussion and approval. Students will be provided opportunities to participate in the Spring Forward Summer Program, virtual learning, and school-based enrichment programs. The summer school program includes several offerings that will provide support for students in grades KG through 12 in the areas of reading, science, and mathematics. The instructional focus is designed to help students improve basic science skills, foundational reading and comprehension skills, critical thinking skills, and basic math skills. Also, students will interact with text and engage in problem-solving activities via the implementation of math and reading small group instruction. And also, teachers will model effective instructional strategies using level text that are aligned with the students' reading levels. The cost to implement the summer program will not exceed the budget amounts that are listed on the board doc items that are attached. Are there any questions regarding the summer program?
I didn't see anything on, I guess the the summer school budget for the high school. Are they doing credit recovery? What?
Yes, so the summer school program, they will be doing an online virtual program that Ms. Nave is supervising. On this document that we have attached, she did list that that program will be supported, I believe, via the Title I funds.
I just wanted to commend you for extending it that additional week. It's very much needed. I wish it could be one more, but I must say it out loud. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we extended 1 week, so it'll be a month, but we also extended it to July. So it'll be an online learning opportunities for students in July also for the month of July.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nichols. The next item up for discussion is the summer curriculum for science, math, and ELA, summer writing curriculum. Bringing this forward is Dr. Tiffany Hunter, and this is in alignment with policy IF curriculum development. Dr. Hunter?
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Tanya Patton, Dr. Joy Lynn Pruitt-Adams in her absence, colleagues and community. Policy IF outlines the curriculum development process and states that various stakeholders will be involved. Continuous review and updates to our curriculum ensure alignment with DESE, current legislation, and district needs based on data. Reviewing and updating the curriculum also ensures continuous improvement. So this summer, the curriculum and instruction team aims to review, revise, and update our curriculum, focusing on ELA, science, and math. This is in alignment with an action step in our CSIP under the Student Performance Strategy to improve Tier 1 instruction. And this project is budgeted and will not exceed $53,460. Attached, you will find the budget breakdown and an outline of the work for this summer. Are there any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hunter. Moving to the next item, RGSD Crisis Management Plan. Bringing this forward is Dr. CFO Levon Singleton, and this is in connection with policy EBCA Crisis Intervention Plan. Dr. CFO?
Thank you, Dr. Patton. Good evening again, Special Administrative Board. The agenda item that I'll be presenting is our District Crisis Management Plan. On an annual basis, districts should certainly update this plan and make sure that all the information is current and all of the information is as accurate as possible. So within the information here, obviously it identifies the crisis management team, obviously the district leadership, the superintendent, all the assistant superintendents, myself, directors of safety and security, food service. All of us have a critical role to play in the event of a district crisis. As we move throughout the plan, the plan talks about the various components of the plan. How do we define a crisis? How do we define crisis management? Also the team, our preparedness. Where do we go in the event of a crisis? And so the plan spells out this information as well. Obviously, our Director of Safety and Security is at the forefront of a lot of this. So we will certainly pivot and yield to them and their expertise in handling these. Obviously, the local law enforcement, police officers, district safety officers, all of those individuals have roles and responsibilities related to the crisis management of our school district. Our superintendent, of course, our communications director, everybody plays a very, very pivotal role. As we continue to go through the plan, obviously, we talked about the tiers of emergency, a level 1 emergency. Okay, in the event of an active shooter, what happens? And so we're all abreast of those kind of responses. Level 2, we identify something as similar as a water main break or power outage. And we've had a couple of those this school year. And so we've had to put on our level 2 crisis response, if you will. And also level 3, maybe we've got an irate parent, we've got a student who's missing, some of those types of activities we describe as a level 3. All of the responsibilities are there, obviously, in the bit of a crisis. It's the superintendent's job to make sure the board is informed, et cetera, et cetera. We all have our various roles and responsibilities that are spelled out in the crisis plan. We are in active communication with our local law enforcement, so it's important that we know who the chief in all of the municipalities are, Riverview, where the firehouses are, St. Louis County, Bellefontaine Police Chief, Moline Acres, Riverview Police, North County Cooperative, as well as our local hospitals, with Christian Northeast being the closest hospital to us in our vicinity. That is pretty much the crisis management plan in a nutshell. Again, we have to bring this before the board on an annual basis. It has been updated as of just a couple of weeks ago. And so at this point, I'll take any questions that you may have about the crisis management plan at this time.
President, this is a living document.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it may change today, tomorrow.
Yeah, as
yes.
a matter of fact, there are already some things on here that
Gotcha.
changed regarding Bellefontaine Police Department
Okay,
and the location of the Riverview Fire Protection District. That location on Diamond no longer is the location.
okay,
That moved to Bellefontaine and Chambers, right in front of.
right in front of the bus depot.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so just little things like that. I think the date though was February, so I don't know if they had dedicated to building or not
Gotcha.
to that. Is this the document that also talks about the St. Louis County Police? Or is that another one?
No, that, yeah,
I read
that's,
a lot of
yeah,
stuff.
that's another, yes, ma'am. That's another agenda item. I think it's coming up in maybe the next item that I'm
Okay.
presenting.
Okay, all right,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Question about, the building level plans. Are there building level plans that are being updated specific to the buildings around emergency crisis?
Yes, yes. So each building building leader, principals are responsible for any crisis and managing those crises that happen in their building. Obviously, they consult with central services, the district safety team, to be their external resources. But absolutely, every building administrator and principal is responsible for, coordinating those efforts at their building.
And then from an evaluation standpoint, I'm just curious to when we had like the episodes of fights. Is there a team that goes back and evaluate whether or not these processes were implemented to actually address protocols that might have been, not followed?
Sure. We had a drill the other day, a couple weeks ago, for instance. In fact, we had a mock tornado drill, and about a week later, we had a real tornado drill. Okay. And so we have those debrief moments where we talk about what has happened and what didn't happen. We constantly remind people of those plans. In the event where we had to, go to the schools and address those concerns, obviously we had various follow-up meetings with the building administrators and central services and also some external partners as well, to talk about those efforts and how we learned from the things that may or may not have went well. So there's always opportunities to debrief and recount these activities. But we do our very best to try to stick to the crisis plan as presented.
The question that I wanted to ask is this done in the form that you journal when situations happen and you retain that information for a specific amount of time? Do you do that?
So I don't know. Obviously, we document as much stuff as we can. I know we use Cisco to document things. We use our own internal systems, whether they be spreadsheets, emails, that kind of stuff. I don't know how long that stuff is kept, but I know that, obviously emails are, you can access them even if I'm gone or somebody else is gone. There's always an opportunity to access that stuff for years to come.
I know that in some situations, I know I serve on our community, our security program at my job, and we have to document when we do like mock things and all of that, because it could play a role in the insurance, and I don't know how that ties in with the school district, but for a bank, it can make your insurance premiums rise.
Absolutely.
So I just was curious.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Can I say one thing, President? I think that, I think that it's important for the community to appreciate the fact that you guys are on 24-hour call.
We are.
That's something I didn't know and didn't really appreciate. So superintendent and I mean, you guys have to be right there all the time. I think the earliest I called somebody was 7 o'clock, but you all are on call all the time. I think the community should know that, to appreciate that.
Well, I thank you, Ms. Lane. That is extremely important. And I tell you, especially, I know the administrators are, superintendent, assistant superintendents, all of us. We're communicating in the middle of the night if we have to. We text late, we text early. I do know that specifically the safety and security team, they are committed to making sure this district is safe. And we get alarm calls all the time. A lot of them are false alarms, thank goodness. But our teams are out in these buildings, and our staff are coming in, responding to make sure. I know Ishmael and I were talking earlier. He didn't get much of a spring break, so he's going to take a couple days here and there. But it is good to recognize that, we are on call 24 hours a day. We don't have the liberty of shutting down our phone and say, I don't want to deal with this issue. So thank you for recognizing that. It feels good.
Thank you.
Any additional questions or statements?
Metal detectors, when they,
Sorry.
the metal detectors in schools, those are considered one of your safety items or what have you.
Right.
But the grade school doesn't have metal detectors. And I walked in Coke and they metal detectors slid up on a desk, a box of it. But that's not my complaint is. Regardless of what grade, I know you got your metal detectors in the junior high and high school. Regardless of what grade, there can be an emergency. If you mess with Sally Joe down in kindergarten, mom and daddy might come in packing. You understand what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
So I don't see a reason why the grade schools don't have it as well. They have probably even more of a danger because we're real sensitive about our kids when they're young.
Sure.
And you don't have these metal detectors in our grade school.
Yes,
And It's
ma'am.
important that we get them.
Yes, ma'am. So let me speak to that real quick, Ms. Titsworth. It is our plan to roll out metal detectors district-wide. I think we did a good job of informing the community and parents that we were doing it at the high school and the middle school levels. We have not rolled it out at the elementary levels because we have not gotten that parent feedback. We've not gotten that buy-in. We've not notified the parents that we're going to do them. Now, they are at the buildings, but they are not at this point plugged up. We had them at one point, and let's make sure we're clear. We don't want our babies walking through metal detectors, 5 and 6 years old, okay? Right. And they are for the visitors to the building. They will be for the adults. They'll be for the parents. They'll be for those that visit the school throughout the day. But we don't want to send the wrong message, that these metal detectors are for our babies. And so, that being said, the superintendent and I are working together to craft a message to get out to the community before we roll these metal detectors out. It is our goal to roll them out next school year or this upcoming school year, but we want to make sure that we get the message out first rather than catching someone off guard and all of a sudden the message, if you see a kid walk through the metal detector, that's not something we made them do. Maybe they followed mom and dad through the metal detectors. They were holding mom and dad's hand, but we want to get the right message out. And so I appreciate your concern with that. And we are going to try to roll that out appropriately. And it is our goal to do that starting the next school year. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Singleton. The next item up for discussion is Central Middle School cafeteria furniture purchase. Bringing this is Carl Scheid. He is the Executive Director of Facilities and Food Service, and this is in line with policy DJF.
Good evening once again. I'm coming before you with some information for discussion regarding the Central Middle School cafeteria furniture purchase. Facilities Department, in conjunction with the Central Middle School principal, engaged with CI Select, which is an Education Plus cooperative purchasing vendor, to seek replacement furniture for the cafeteria at Central Middle School. The items selected were obviously the cafeteria tables along with some other event tables and event chairs for the school. This obviously will replace the existing furniture, which has been around a very long time and has served its time and is in need of replacement. We've actually had it deteriorate to the point that we had to decommission some of the furniture. We can no longer repair it. So it's reached a critical point that needs to be replaced. This has been budgeted in the current year, and the recommendation would be that the approval of the purchase in the amount of $94,690.27. Be happy to take any questions you may have.
In looking at this layout and this selected furniture and thinking about the furniture, say at Westview, did you talk to students and maybe educators about this type of furniture? I know that where I am, the students say this is so uncomfortable and they would prefer the chairs and the tables. Is there a reason why you chose this over table and chairs like we have at Westview?
It was a direct dialogue with the building administrator.
All right.
As we discussed it.
Any additional questions?
It's kind of related. Is there other schools that you've assessed that will need this type of change as well?
Yes,
Okay.
so we will be, in the future, we'll be looking at all of our schools because this is not a unique situation. As you've been in all of the schools, you see that our cafeteria furniture is very tired and in need of replacement. So there will be more of these initiatives coming forward in the upcoming fiscal year.
Is there a plan for a full facility audit just to assess all of the buildings?
Yes, there will be more information coming forward on that front as well.
Additional questions? Okay.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
The next two items coming forward is a summary of the fund balance report for the month ending in February 2024 and the St. Louis Police SRO agreement. Bringing these forward is Dr. Levon Singleton. Dr. Singleton.
All right, next time, put all my agenda items next to each other. All right.
What'd you say?
I heard you, Shay. All right. Work around it. All right, no. So the next item is summary of fund balance report. I will be very quick. I've done this report every month for the last 4 years that I've been here. And so with keeping in the timing in mind, let's just really focus on the first page of the report. This is the summary of our fund balances. And so we started this as of February 29th. Okay, we started this fiscal year with about $33 million in our a total of all of our funds. Year-to-date revenues, we've got about $57 million in. Expenses, we've spent about $57 million. So at this point, we're kind of break even with what we brought in and what we've spent. And so our ending fund balance is looking very close to where we began the year. We are anticipating, obviously, that we will end on a real solid note. We are hopeful that our fund balance will be much well above the 15%, but hopefully in the 20s and 30s as it has been at least the last couple years, so that we can continue to do some of the great things for the employees and staff in this school district. The other pages, again, just talks about the revenues and expenses. It gives a breakdown, but that first page really gives you a summary of where we are at this time in the game. So are there any questions on the summary of fund balance report?
Okay.
All right. Next agenda item is the St. Louis County Police SRO agreement. And I want to just spend a couple minutes talking about the SRO agreement. I believe this agreement has been in existence, I know at least 15 years or so with the school district. I think we've seen evidence back in 09 or 10 when the district entered into a partnership with St. Louis County. As you all know, we have our own security program. We have district safety officers in every building. We have 36 total. We have a director, an assistant director. We have 4 leads. And then we also, very recently, you all allowed us to hire nighttime leads to peruse the school district in the evening time. So we have built a comprehensive safety department, but it is still critical that we have the resources of our own finest in St. Louis County. And so the current agreement that we're under expires as of June 30th. It was a 3-year agreement. We are recommending a renewed 3-year agreement with St. Louis County. And what we pay for are 5 school resource officers. So there's 1 that's dedicated to the high school. There are 2 that are dedicated to each of the middle schools. And the remaining 2 roam the school district and focus on the elementary schools, okay? So we have 5. Obviously, if there's a crisis at the high school, everybody pulls all the resources together, and that's where the focus is. But we have 5 school resource officers. This is a long-standing partnership. We're wanting to continue this partnership. So we pay for the 5 officers and 5 police vehicles, okay? That means that these officers and these vehicles are ours throughout the entire day, throughout the school day, all right? Unless there's some major catastrophe where they have to be pulled for a major crisis, our SROs are in the district facilities during those work days, during the school day, to help us manage and avert, obviously, the crisis that we've been talking about. This annual agreement will cost us $436,000, $436,053.45 on an annual basis, and the monthly cost is at $36,337.79. Are there any questions that I may answer about the school resource officer agreement?
Any questions? So I'd like to ask the question. So you're paying for 5 officers and 5 vehicles?
Yes.
I'd like to know if there's a way, and I guess we can take that up with Dr. Pruitt-Adams. I would like to know the length of service and the training of those officers that we receive.
Okay, sure. Absolutely. Yes, I will ask for that information. And you said length of service and the training that they have received.
And if those vehicles, if we're paying for the use of those vehicles, the number of times that they're taken out of our district to be used for something else.
Okay, okay. We'll get you that information, Ms. Margaret. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Singleton. The next item up for discussion is Dare to Lead. This is an administrator training program. This item is being presented by me and there is no policy reference. The Dare to Lead program is a courage building program. It focuses on 4 skill sets of vulnerability, values, trust, and learning to rise. The Dare to Lead program focuses on developing these courage building skills through workshops, training, and coaching to help individual teams and organizations move from armored leadership to daring leadership. This is a 24-hour training course. It will take place over a 3-day period. It is a budgeted amount out of professional development. And it is recommended that the SAB approve this contract with Dare to Lead in an amount not to exceed $40,000. And the people that will be attending this training will be our administrators throughout our districts, some of our coordinators, our central office staff. Are there any questions?
Yes.
So the total would be around how many participants around?
So when I counted them, Dr. May, there was about 36 participants. Are there any other questions? Thank you. Our next item up for discussion is the Climate and Culture Symposium. Bringing this forward is Carmen May. She is the coordinator for MTSS, and Deirdre Liddell. She is the executive director of Student, Schools, and Community Support. Ladies.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt Adams in her absence, Dr. Patton, colleagues, and community. On behalf of the Department of Student Services, Office of MTSS, we would like approval to host a Climate and Culture Symposium to begin the work of streamlining universal structural processes throughout the district for the 24-25 school year. This is in collaboration with Solution Tree, who has also been very supportive of providing us with assistance with the framework. And they will also be echoing the framework with the infrastructure that we support throughout the 24-25 school year. Anticipated expected outcomes, improve school culture, academic performance, and our hopes to reduce the district suspension rate. Building teams that attend that evening will know the purpose of the culture and climate team, be able to explain the culture and climate team, streamline universal structural process for the district for the 24-25 school year, as well as know the standard resources to use within the culture and climate team, create district-wide behavior supports that are identified, coordinated, and implemented with fidelity at the classroom, building, and system level. The logistics will be date April 24th, 2024, from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Location, Westview Middle School. The audience, school building principals, and their culture and climate team staff that they have identified.
Okay. The budgeted amount is not to exceed $25 per staff member for 10-month certified employees. The funding source will be ESSER funding. It is recommended that the Special Administrative Board approve the training for district personnel at the cost not to exceed $500. Are there any questions?
Is it 500 or 5,000?
It'll be 500.
500.
Yes. Mhm.
Thank you.
For,
Any additional questions?
for the
on
whole,
line?
for the whole training?
For the whole training. So it's
Not-
it's
Not per person?
it is $25 per person for a 1-hour training.
Okay. And this will be in collaboration with the restorative justice?
This will be with the school teams. So if there is a restorative justice member on the collaborative or climate and culture committee for that school team, then yes, they will be part of it. But there will be principals there, there will be instructional coaches there, there will be counselors there, social workers there. So there is a combination of that school team that will be present.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item up for discussion is the Alternative Education Program Phase 2. Bringing this forward is Dr. Jared Smith. He is our hearing officer, assistant principal at the high school. Dr. Smith.
Good evening. Special Administrative Board, Dr. JPA in her absence, Dr. Patton, all the colleagues, communities, and friends. Previously, as I've stood up here throughout the year, we've talked about bringing our alternative program under internal leadership. And the first phase of that, you can go to the next slide. The first phase of that was to, originally we had 3 sites throughout the district. And the first phase of that project or process was to bring all of those 3 sites onto one district site. And that's the FCRC, where we are currently housed. That process in moving us out of those 3 sites into our one internal site, that saved us approximately $200,000 with the contract that we were in with ChanceLight. So now we're ready to move on to the second phase of this process, and that's to bring the program totally under district internal leadership. And so this will occur in 3 steps. The first step will be not renewing our contract with ChanceLight, who is the company that runs ACE. ACE is up under them. And so not renewing that ChanceLight agreement, changing the name of the program to Riverview Gardens Success Academy, and then bringing over existing staff and long-term subs from the ACE staff into Riverview Gardens to fill those vacancies. The anticipated outcome is improved programming. When it's under our direct control, we have, of course, more control over the outcomes of the program. We'll offer 3 tracks for students to graduate or return to their home schools. One is the Earn Your Way Back program for those students who receive long-term suspensions. The other is our credit recovery program, and then our Missouri Options program. One thing you do not see up there, and I'm sure some of you all are happy, no more 18 credit hour diploma, okay? Every student that graduates will graduate with a Riverview Gardens diploma.
Wonderful. Thank you.
That's worthy. Clap that up, yeah. Also, increase support by adding wraparound services. We already have our on-site counselor via a grant from Chestnut Health Systems. We plan on working with community partners to bring in some substance abuse intervention. Once we clear some more space in the FCRC, Little Bit Foundation, they already have a little space in the FCRC in the alternative program, but we want for them to be able to have a full boutique if possible, where students can go and have all their needs met. We're also talking to some community partners about some leadership training, and then also bringing some conflict resolution classes. We want to be a full service alternative program. So when students do return to school, those who are not graduating from the alternative program, when they do return to school, they return to school ready with the tools and resources they need to be successful. The anticipated cost reduction, we already reduced the cost by $200,000 last year. This year, by bringing it under internal leadership, that will reduce the cost further, another $200 and some odd thousand, which gives us an overall saving over the course of these past 2 years of $400,000, which I think is significant. Also, reduction in staffing issues. Like we said, we want to bring those people over. We've been talking to them. They're ready. They're willing to get to work, and we're going to be, bringing them over is just the first step, and then that'll, as we lead into phase 3 and we truly make this a full service program, then we'll be working with them throughout the year. That is all. Oh, it is recommended that the Riverview Gardens Board of Education approve the proposal to bring the alternative program under internal leadership and change the name of the program to Riverview Gardens Success Academy.
I think they might think about it, Dr. Smith.
Do we have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
As far as the space is concerned.
Ms. Tisworth, can you talk into the mic?
Better want me.
Good, yeah, there we
As
go.
far as the space is concerned, you know, we always hear where student had to wait till some space is available. What is the way that you can increase the capacity?
So there are some rooms in FCRC that we're working on. We have the space. It's just we have a lot of old furniture, a lot of things in those spaces. So we're working with facilities with Carl to get that space cleared out, and that'll provide us with more than enough space, at least for now.
So how long you think it'll take? I mean, because we got a lot of children at home waiting on space with computers.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You think
So I mean, I can't give an actual timeline. I have
tell me
to
they working
talk to Carl again, and
They working on it, Cole? Yeah, okay.
And Ms. Tisworth, bringing it in-house will, we won't be limited to the 225 spaces that we are paying for now. So we will be able to help support more students. And so that should limit the issue you just spoke about.
I know, but didn't you just say you're not with the Riverview Garden School?
yes, ma'am.
No, he is. Yeah,
What
he's
do you mean by in-house?
bringing it under Riverview Gardens control and leadership.
Okay.
Mhm.
I had a question.
Yes.
As far as additional opportunities for youth, will the students be able to do North County Tech if they are in the alternative program? And then I was interested in knowing what type of space was available for gym and, any athletic activities for the children.
So right now, we don't have any space for athletic activities or gym. Students who aren't on a long-term suspension, they can still participate in athletics at the high school. They're still free to do those things. As far as North County Tech, I will have to look at the requirements. I'm not sure, but we are in the works of putting together a partnership with Job Corps, where students would go to the alternative program in the morning, go to Job Corps in the afternoon, and hopefully they'll graduate with a Riverview Gardens diploma, as well as certification in one of the trainings that Job Corps offers.
The question that I wanted to ask is, I heard that you said you want to move the staff over. So what would be the recommendations, or what would be the qualifications that the A staff has to meet in order to be considered part of Riverview?
Well, right now, we're looking at certifications and years of experience. Those are the things that we would consider. Yeah, we're looking at that now, and then we'll make those moves.
Any additional questions? Okay. Thank you.
Before I sit down, I would just like to acknowledge Mr. Michael Berry in the building. Mr. Berry, stand up. Mr. Berry has worked with our young people at the alternative program for a number of years, and he's really one of the main reasons that our seniors, as many seniors as we graduate, he's the senior guru. He gets those kids across the stage, and so I'm really appreciative of him and of him being here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. The next item up for discussion is the AIM High 5-week summer program. Bringing this forward is me, Dr. Tanya Patton. This is a budgeted program. It's a summer programming for rising middle schoolers. We will take a total of 100 students. They will be recruited from our elementary schools. They will receive instruction in core subjects areas such as ELA, math, and humanities. They will also participate in swim safety, golf, and chess. This is a summer program. It will run from June 7th to July 12th. This program will take place at John Burroughs High School. We will transport these students and provide food, breakfast, lunch, and snack for them and transport them back home. We are asking the SAB to approve this contract with Aim High in an amount not to exceed $50,000, which will include the food and the transportation for 100 students. We will also be recruiting teachers from Riverview Gardens who wish to participate in this program. I think that covers it all. Are there any questions? Thank you. Moving on to the next item, salary increases. We will bring in this item forward is Travis Ford, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. Mr. Ford.
Good evening again, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, Dr. Patton, colleagues and community. Today I have before you salary increases proposed for the 2024-25 school year. And this is in alignment with Strategy 5 under our CSIP, which is our workforce and staffing section. In this section, the main portion of this strategy is to identify options to increase salaries and to work on increasing salaries in order to improve retention and to support our staff members. Currently, the teachers have been approved for a one-step salary increase for the 24-25 school year. We are asking that the same process and the same approval be given for support staff, that they will be able to have a one-step salary increase for the 2024-25 school year. For the teachers, it amounts to 2.8%. For the support staff, it amounts to that step increase is 3%. We're also asking for a step, well, it's not a step increase, but for that same increase to be given for administrators. Administrators are on a different scale. They don't have a step, they have a range. And so because they don't have a range, we would have to ask for the same amount salary increase. One of the goals is to increase salaries, but then also a goal that has been given from the board is to work to make our staff members whole. We believe in an effort and a good faith effort to try to make our staff members whole and to be in alignment with Strategy 5 of our CSIP. We're proposing that all staff members get a 3% salary increase for the 2024-25 school year. That would be an extra 0.2% for the teachers. It would be that one step movement for the support staff, and it would be the same amount for the administrators. This would give teachers, support staff, and administrators a 3% salary increase for the 2024 school year. The budget impact of this would be $1,069,818.01. It is recommended that the Special Administrative Board approve the salary increases of 3% for all staff members for the 2024-25 school year. Are there any questions?
Dr. Von Elliott?
Let me find a page, I'm sorry. I think I was interested in the max step placement of 10. Is that from union negotiations? Why is it capped at 10?
The max
for
step
new
for
hires?
new hires.
Mhm.
So that was what was approved by the board. I believe originally it was 6, and then I believe, I'm not sure of the year, it was approved to go up to 10 in order to attract more highly qualified candidates, to be more in alignment with other districts are doing. And so we do offer up to step 10 for new hires.
And that's still competitive to step 10, or have they?
It is competitive.
Okay.
Yes, I say it with a little hesitation because there are some districts who are giving you all of your steps. They're giving you all of your years of service. However, we are charged to make sure that we are fiscally sound and that we are in a situation that any steps or any approvals that we bring or any recommendations that we bring to you is going to be in alignment with what we need in order to cover the district for the long haul. So that's the cap, and that's what we have approved now, and that's where we're recommending to stay for that. But today we're asking for 3% for salary increases.
May I interject? Can you hear me?
You gotta
May
pull
I
your mic.
interject?
Thank you.
May I
This is,
interject?
Not right now about the teacher salary. I always thought the teacher should make more money. So we're not arguing about that. This is about the Bowen teachers. We have never met them. None have never been here.
Okay.
And how they doing in the classroom? We need to know this is new to us, the point.
Yes, ma'am.
And we need to know where we at that.
Okay.
You know, with that.
Okay, so what I'll say about our international teachers, we'll work in the time for them to come to make sure that you can meet our international teachers. They are doing well.
And I don't know if
They
can
come
hear me.
with a wealth of experience. Most of them have, I believe, 8 to 16 years of teaching experience already. Many of them have, most of them have master's and doctorate degrees in that content area. They're doing really well instructionally. They do have, in some schools, some challenges with building the relationships with the students because they're learning the culture. This is new to them as well. It's new to us. It's new to our building leaders. It's new to our CNI department. It's new to human resources and the onboarding. So we have put some measures in place to try to support them. We've done some after-school PD sessions where they come and they're able to learn about some classroom management techniques, some pieces about trauma-informed building relationships. We put in special supports. We pushed in more supports from CNI to support them in some of those areas. And then where we have certain teachers who have those needs, like with anybody else, we try to target that. But we have some that are doing amazing in all the areas, instructionally and also with building those relationships. One of our international teachers, Mr. RJ at the high school, he was featured in
I turned my camera off, but I'm still
our
here.
television
Because I
advertisements.
started
He
to lay
did really
down.
well
I'm
there, and I
here.
believe Ms. Nave brought up the comment yesterday that he was just approved
You
to
can't
teach
see the
dual
J?
enrollment. And so
Oh,
many
okay,
of
I
them
see
are
the
doing
J.
really well, but we
Let
are
me
trying
sit
to
up.
put
Let me
pieces
sit
in
up.
place as we see the need to support them with understanding the culture and building a relationship. We're also working in human resources to bring more international candidates into our district this year because there is a nationwide teacher shortage. And
Can you
right
see
now,
me
we do have
now?
a pool of 75 international teachers
I
that
see
we have the
myself.
possibility of bringing over if our hiring
I'm on.
managers
I
feel
see
that they really
myself.
fit the need for those schools. So
And what's the name of those schools where
they're at every school
They're
except, they're at,
I wonder.
I believe they're at every school except Lewis and
Huh?
Clark, Danforth,
Okay.
Highland.
Okay, I
If I
just need
missed
to
a
make a
school,
comment.
but they're at almost every school.
I don't want them to see me.
But I can provide you all
All
with a
right.
list of exactly what
Okay.
schools they're at, the
Bye.
grade levels, if you wanted to visit. I could do that. That way you'll have the accurate amounts, the accurate spots.
Any additional questions?
May I
Thank
make a
you.
comment?
Absolutely.
May I make a comment?
Yes,
Okay,
we
I
can hear you.
just wanted to clear up I want to clear up maybe Dr. May's question. We are starting people at step 10. Previously, the district only started you, but they are not capped at step 10. As they progress in the district, they continue to move up in steps and so forth. They are not capped there. Okay. And one of our international teachers has been duly certified to teach our dual credit course. So when we talk about their ability and their capacity, they all come to us with experiences, and most of them are really beating the language barrier.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Our last item under items for discussion is the first student transportation contract extension. Bringing this item forward is Dr. Levon Singleton, CFO. Dr. Singleton.
Thank you, Dr. Patton. I'll take the last hour and a half and present this contract extension.
Ms. Sharp, start moving this direction, please.
So the final agenda item tonight is the first student transportation contract extension. We're asking for a 1-year extension. We did an RFP several years ago. They got a 3-year contract. We did an extension last year, and we're asking for another extension as well. Obviously, we're still in a nationwide shortage, but I will say that our local first student operations team, we've been shielded from a lot of what you see out in the news with other companies who are having driver issues. At most, there are times where we will combine routes, which may take a little bit longer, but in terms of our drivers, having the right drivers on board with our scholars, I think the first student team has done an amazing job. So we are asking for another 1-year extension. The rates are in your package. These rates are consistent with the rates that were presented during that initial proposal. And so we are recommending approval of I think this is for discussion and action on tonight as well. Are there any questions about the first student contract agreement? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Singleton. Before we move to the consent agenda items and on, I would like to acknowledge two employees within our midst that are moving up, so to speak. The first person I want to acknowledge is Dr. Candace Ramey. Dr. Ramey, would you please stand? Well, wait a minute, you don't know what I'm gonna say. No, Dr. Ramey will be the principal of Danforth Elementary School for the 24-25 school year in the retirement of Dr. Dominic Lenoir. And then the second person I want to acknowledge is Dr. Jared Smith. Dr. Smith, will you stand, please? Dr. Smith will lead our high school moving forward for the 24-25 school year. So we are excited. Okay. I don't know if Tracy's screaming because she's done or Ms. Nave, you have until June 30th, sister. So pump your little brakes. But he is not starting tomorrow. We believe that we have picked, we posted the job, at least the high school job. Dr. Ramey was appointed by our superintendent. We posted the high school position. We interviewed many candidates, and we believe we have the best candidate for the high school. We absolutely believe that. And we believe that we are hiring the best principal for Danforth as well. And Dr. Ramey, she's been with us a number of years and she is ready to lead and it is her turn. So we will be there to support both of them in their positions, working as a team of administrators, because if one of us fail, we all fail. If one of us succeed, we all succeed. So I welcome Dr. Ramey and I welcome Dr. Smith. Ms. Morrill?
Yes. Thank you for that, and thank you all for sticking through this. Thank you so much. Okay, so I would like to have a motion right now to approve the consent agenda. The items are listed out in item number 12, the open session meeting minutes, signing and a referral of the stipends for the 2024-2025 school year, budget transaction report, and the payment of bills. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
May I have a second? Any questions? Yes, Ms.
I did make this inquiry, I guess like with the board, elections coming up. So I just wanted clarification on whether or not we have reached the point of whatever services that Dr. Monica was providing for HR, knowing that that contract will be ending. Are we at a point of whatever those services were needed?
Yes. She has actually received her last payment.
So I was asking about the project itself. Are we?
That
at
is
the
all
point of-
complete.
I can hear you.
I said that is all complete. Mr. Ford has implemented several of the projects that he was working on with Ms. Williams.
Okay, thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, real loud for me in the microphone.
Aye.
We will now move to item 13, items for action. The first item for action is the Board of Education meeting schedule for the 2024-2025 school year. May I have a motion?
Oh, we're not gonna vote the whole thing? City, we're gonna vote them individually?
Yes.
Oh, I'll make a motion.
Ms.
To
Ms. Lane
accept.
made a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
Second. I heard you say second,
Mhm.
Mr. Horsley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there questions? I apologize. I didn't ask if there were any additional questions, okay? All right. So the Board of Education meeting schedule is approved for the 2024-2025 school year. We will now go to the parents as teachers stipends. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the stipend.
We have a motion to approve the stipend. May I have a second?
Second.
I think I heard you, Ms. Jackson. Ms. Jackson made the second. Are there any additional questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The parents as teacher stipends are approved. We will now go to summer school programs and summer enrichment programs. May I have a motion? It's been motioned by Dr. Avant Elliott. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Dr. Coleman. Any additional questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we will now go to D, the 2024-2025 salary increases.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, that was Ms. Lang, made the motion to approve and Dr. Avant Elliott second. Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
We will now move to E, which is the first student transportation contract extension for the 2024-2025 school year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Lang. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Avant Elliott. I heard her second. Okay, any additional questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We will now go to item 14, the adjournment of the Special Administrative Board. May I have a motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting? So moved. It's been moved by Ms. Jackson. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Dr. Coleman. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
We will, thank you. We are now adjourned to this portion of the meeting. We will now go to item 15 on our agenda, which is the installation of the new, and we're really not the new Special Administrative Board.
No.
Oh, okay. 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 Till July. Bingo, okay. Thank you for the correction. Bingo. Understand.
Ms. Morrell.
Do I go now too?
Please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll take care of this part of the meeting, which will be the swearing in of our incumbent member, Ms. Veronica Morrell, and our newly elected member, Ms. Monica Williams. And so I'm going to have you each to raise your right hand and to repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Veronica Monroe Real,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Missouri,
and of the state of Missouri,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
of the school district of the Riverview Gardens
of the school district of the Riverview Gardens,
of St. Louis County
St. Louis County,
in the state of Missouri
in the state of Missouri,
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and in accordance with the law.
and in accordance with the law.
Welcome. So you will sign us this and give it back to me. And send your copy. So at this time, Dr. Patton will take over the meeting and we'll have the reorganization and selection of the board president and the vice president.
This is when you are happy that your fearless leader has done this before, and you go to YouTube and you watch every move she makes. So this is when it's great to have a great leader. At this time, I would like to officially welcome our new member, Ms. Monica Moore-Rio. And, oh, Monica, you know what?
I know our names.
Okay, Dr. Jorlin didn't do that. That was on me. So she did not. I would like to welcome Ms. Monica Williams to the board. Give her a round of applause. I would like to welcome back Ms. Veronica Morrow. How is that? First time elected. With the election of new members, there has to be a vote on which members will serve as our president and vice president. It is the responsibility of the superintendent to run the election of the office of president and then turn over the election for the office of, to the president. Once we've elected a president, the president then will lead the election of the vice president. So at this time, the floor is open for nominations for the office of president of the Riverview Gardens School Board. Are there any nominations?
I have one.
Ms. Mario,
I would like to nominate Dr. Nikita Coleman to be the president of Riverview Gardens School Board.
we have one nomination for Dr. Nikita Coleman. Are there any other nominations? Well, Dr. Coleman, look, this wasn't on YouTube. Ms. Mario,
And that's it. With no other people to be nominated, I'd like the nominations to be closed.
very good. The nomination is officially closed. And,
Can we get a second, please, for that?
I second.
okay,
Do we vote?
And you would.
we are going to vote person by person. Ms. Lane, you ready? Okay. Will you call roll, Shay?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Ms. Lane,
Yes.
Ms. Tisworth,
Yes.
Dr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Morrill,
Yes.
Ms. Monica Williams,
Yes.
Dr. Yvonne Elliott.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you need to take them. So that vote was casted to close the nominations. Now we'll have the vote for Dr. Coleman.
Very good. Dr. Coleman, I hand this over to you for the election of the vice president. Congratulations.
No, we need to take a vote now.
Right.
That was a vote to
Okay.
close the nomination.
Okay, then not that, okay, go for it, Shay. This wasn't on YouTube, that's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
So we need a, so Dr. Coleman has been nominated as the president. We need a motion and then we need a second. And then we'll take a roll call vote. So,
The motion to accept her as president.
correct, to nominate.
So I make the motion to accept Dr. Nikita Coleman as president of the Special Administrative Board / Riverview Gardens Board.
Thank you. We need a second. Sharon Tisworth.
So now can I congratulate,
No,
no, roll call vote, Shay?
Yes, we need a vote. Dr. Yvonne Elliott, Ms. Monica Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Veronica Morrill,
Yes.
Dr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Tisworth, Ms. Lane,
Yes.
and Ms. Jackson.
Yes.
Thanks, unanimous vote.
It's a unanimous vote. Now I can welcome Dr. Nikita Coleman as the president of the Riverview Gardens School Board. Dr. Coleman, Madam President, I will let you handle the VP nominations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your confidence. At this time, we would like to motion to open
up the
up
floor.
nomination for the office of vice president.
I like to nominate Veronica Morrow as vice president.
Any other
Are there
nominations?
any other nominations? So at this time, I need a motion to approve.
Close the
to
nominations.
close the nominations, I'm sorry.
I make a nomination to close the nomination.
And I'll second. Motion by Ms. Lane and second by Ms. Morrow to close the nominations. At this time, we will roll call vote. Shay, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start with Ms. Tisworth,
Yes.
Ms. Lane,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Dr. Coleman,
Yes.
Dr. Von Elliott,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Maria.
Yes.
At this time, now it's the vote, right? Okay, getting all the mix up. At this time, thank you. It has been motioned and approved to accept the nomination for Ms. Real. At this time, we would like to vote for the office of Vice President. The nomination is for Ms. Real. Shay, roll call.
Who made the motion?
Oh,
I did.
she did.
Thank you,
No, you
Susan.
made the motion to.
You
close
are the
nomination.
best.
Need a motion
Oh, we need a motion.
to accept the nomination for.
I make a
Ms.
motion
Maria.
to accept the nomination.
Thank
for
you.
Ms.
Second.
Ms. Monica Williams, second. Okay.
And now we will cast our vote for the office of Vice President.
Yes. Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Ms. Lane,
Yes.
Ms. Tisworth,
Yes.
Dr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Real,
Yes.
Ms. Monica Williams.
Yes.
And Dr. Avant Elliott.
Yes.
It has been approved, the nomination for Ms. Real as Vice President has been voted on and approved, so congratulations, Ms. Maureen.
And then
Congratulations.
You too. You said something. Chip?
Well, Shay, did you say something?
I said that was a unanimous vote.
Yes.
At this time, you can, determine who will serve as your delegate for the Missouri School Board Association.
I'm
And
not
your
doing
alternate.
that. I know you're not act like he's not there.
He can't eat.
At this time, I'd like
And
to
it's
nominate
raspberry chocolate chip.
Ms. Dr. Eva.
Wait, come on, Jim. Come on.
as
Come
our
on, let's go.
delegate to the MSBA.
I second. I accept.
And we
Come
need
on.
one more, an alternate.
No, you gotta do.
We needed to have a vote for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. let's-
Yes, ma'am.
Motion, let's, we've already second. Vote for Dr. Yvonne Elliott as our delegate to the Missouri School Board Association.
Do I need to motion
Make
to
a
close the nominations?
She,
No.
Where we at on
she
that?
accepts, so we just vote
Hello?
for her. We just vote for her because she
Yes.
accepted, right?
You
Okay.
made the nomination. We had the recommendation that was made by Dr. Coleman. It was seconded by Ms. Real, and at this time, we can take a vote.
Okay. Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Monica Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Veronica Real.
Yes.
Dr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Tisworth,
Yes.
Dr. Avant Elliott,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
and Ms. Lane.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Then
that
the
was also an anonymous vote. At this time, we would like to make a motion to nominate an alternate person to serve on the MSBA.
I nominate Miss Monica Williams.
Okay.
I
is there a
second.
Okay. Okay, you ready for the
All right.
vote?
At this time, it has been moved and second that we nominate Ms. Monica Williams for our alternate to the MSBA board. And it was moved and second.
Mhm.
So at this time, we'll
Roll
vote
call.
for
Okay.
that office.
Alright.
The alternate serves when the delegate cannot serve, and these are the people that listen to the issues and vote on.
Okay.
Okay.
Ms. Real,
Yes.
Dr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Ms. Lane,
Yeah.
Ms. Tisworth,
Yes.
Ms. Monica Williams.
Yes.
And then Dr. Avant Elliott.
Yes.
That concludes.
Okay.
That concludes it. For people that are watching or people in the room, we haven't had to do this in a long while. So
Right.
it's not that we don't know what we're doing. We're trying to figure out, we're trying to go back, 15 years? So I present to you the first elected board of the Riverview Gardens School District.
We are excited.
You know, you want a picture of them, huh?
On this short birthday, look at that.
Oh. And I have to say that Monica's parents are here in the house. Right here, okay. Look at that.
Did you all come from Atlanta?
Madam President, Ms. Dr. Whose granddaughter? Oh, this is Brayden. Okay. Good to see you all. I heard her snoring earlier. Well, we are excited. Madam President.
Would like to have something to say.
Ms. Williams?
Okay, I would just want to first just say good evening to the board, to the community, to the employees. First, I want to thank God for the opportunity to serve. Thank the voters for trusting me with this assignment. I would like to thank my family. My parents drove all the way from Atlanta to be here. And my dad is 80 years old and he drove all the way here, drove my mom here. So thankful. And then my granddaughter, she's asleep. This is late for her. She attends Michelle Obama. So I'm happy that she's here along with my daughter. And I just want to say I'm so grateful. I've always desired to be a part of the Riverview Gardens School Board. But when I decided to run years and years ago, the state took over and put an appointed board in place. And so fast forward several years later, I ended up being an employee of the district, retiring from the district. And so for me, this is the next logical step for me as I work to help improve the community in which I live. So I thank you all, 1,000 thank yous. I thank God again for trusting me with this assignment, and I really will do my best to make sure that our district is moving in the right direction. Thank you and God bless.
Monica, we are happy to have you back. We are happy to have you back.
Thank
Dr.
you so
Carpenter.
much. And once again, thank you all for your support and your confidence. At this time, we are moving toward adjournment. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second, it has been moved by by Elliott and second by Ms. Morrow Real that we adjourn. Thank you so much. Hey, all in favor?
Aye.
Board members, we'd like to get a picture of our first elected board for the Riverview Gardens School District. I know, that's a long time.